any resemblance to real persons, etc., etc. I'm sure almost every writer bases their characters in their novels on aspects of their own personality and history, as well as on the personality and history of people they've met over the years, family, friends, or just acquaintances. The disclaimer often found at the beginning of books makes me smile. The characters and events in this book are fictitious, and any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Yeah, sure, right. So, let's see. Mrs. Smith, the heroine's neighbour, is a slightly porky, irritating woman who collects spoons. And it's just sheer coincidence that the author's neighbour, when the author was growing up, was a slightly porky, irritating woman who collected porcelain elephants. Or perhaps was a stick-thin, irritating woman who collected paperweights. However many details the author might change, we know that at some stage in her life she lived next door to an irritating woman who collects something. The fact that the character is irritating and has a propensity to collect things is no accidental coincidence. I admit from time to fearing that some of my readers might think that they recognise themselves in a character that I've created. And the depiction of those characters is not always flattering, whether the less flattering aspects concern character traits or physical features. There's not much I or any other writer can do about that. People are often odd, let's face it. It's often their oddities that make them interesting, and it's often going to be those same oddities that make our literary creations interesting. What I can say to those who think they identify themselves in one of my books is this. Each of my characters is constructed from bits and pieces of several real people. And the bits and pieces of these real people are usually scattered among a range of characters. And finally, there's a little bit of me in all of my characters. Look, I'm sorry if there's an overweight person in my book and someone thinks I'm referring to them. I've met many overweight people in my life. The world is liberally peppered with largish folk. They're not going to be entirely absent from my literary world. Apologies if you think that irritating character bears a striking resemblance to you. First of all, though, it's interesting that you yourself think you might be irritating. Top marks for insight. You may be a bit wary of suing me, though. Yes, Judge, that irritating bastard is clearly me. And you may be disappointed because I've met many irritating people over the years. Everyone is irritating at some time and in some respect. You know, I think I've probably been irritating myself on occasion. If there's a one-legged trampolining juggler in one of my books and you think it's you, again, first of all, congratulations on your achievements, but rest assured that I have never met a one-legged trampolining juggler. I think I would remember that. Nor have I seen one on Australia's Got Talent, so it's probably not you. There may be the odd, in every sense of the term, there may be the odd Anglican priest or evolutionary biologist in my books, but it's probably not you, or at least not only you, and certainly not entirely you. And he or she will most definitely have bits of me tossed in the mix.